30 days, 50,000 subscribers, but most importantly, $1 million cash collected. And that's exactly what I helped Brez Skills do with his business YouTube channel. And if you're thinking, oh, he only did this because he had a huge audience, well, I'm here to tell you that you are wrong. The second channel actually started all the way from zero. And just to prove it wasn't luck to you, in this video, I'm gonna be breaking down the 3-step strategy that I personally used to build the Brez ROAS channel all the way from zero to now cash collecting over $1 million. But most importantly, I'm gonna show you how you can do the exact same for your business YouTube channel without needing hella views or hella subscribers. So you can only steal it, run with it, and go turn your own content into cash. But make sure you don't miss any steps in this video because every piece of the process is actually in chronological order. So unless you want to keep making content that gets views but doesn't get any sales, let's get into the video. And part 1 starts with the diagnosis. And yes, of course, we all know Brez for his crazy lifestyle, his crazy vlogs. It generally feels like bro is buying a new supercar every week. But just because his main channel was getting all this growth and attention, the viral views, a huge audience, and the crazy vlogs, this necessarily didn't mean that he was making as much money as he actually could. And you're probably asking, why? Well, just like Brez, you might be posting great content, right? But if your audience doesn't know what you sell or how you're different than all the other competitors in your market, then you're literally not gonna make money on YouTube. When I started working with Brez, I realized that his main channel was not speaking to his buyer. And I'm gonna tell you how I fixed that problem here soon for him, but also how you can apply it to yourself. Because his content might have been entertaining, right? But it was not turning his content into cash. Maybe a little bit, but not exactly to the max scale where I know it could go. It's like comparing a fitness YouTuber versus a fitness coach. Like one of them is making entertainment and challenge videos, and the other one's helping men over 40 lose 10 pounds and giving exact workout routines. And the question really comes down to, do you want to entertain random people on the internet, or do you actually want to make money with your content? And the reason why you can't actually collect cash on YouTube is because you're focused on building this big audience, and instead you actually need to be building an ecosystem, which I'm going to cover at the end of this video, the ecosystem that I implemented for Brez to actually collect our first $1 million. So definitely stay tuned for that later in the video. And this was the first step that we took. So we launched a second channel that was built for conversions, overviews. We weren't focused on any clout or things of that nature. We were simply just trying to make more money. And the channel only had one goal. And in order to make that money, right, you have to speak to your ideal customer profile, your ICP. And that's what I want you to identify right away when you're making your content. You might already know this for your business, but you need to understand it for content purposes because it ties heavily into what I'm going to share with you in part 2 of this process. And then what we did next is we dialed in the messaging on what we wanted to say in these exact videos, because obviously we wanted it to be different from his vlogs, but we understood that Brez had a very personal connection with his audience that we wanted to keep on this channel as well. And the new result after the first 30 days working together is that 80% of people that bought Brez's product were watching the second channel, and obviously this led to him making over $1 million off of YouTube directly. So what you need to do now is diagnose who you're trying to sell to, and I mean specifically for YouTube, and then literally ask yourself, does my content actually bring value to who I want to sell to? And will that person trust me to actually solve their problem? Do you have enough social proof and results, and is your product good enough to actually solve their problem? And like I said, this scale wasn't by luck. It didn't come from copying other channels or doing other BS YouTube tactics that people promote out there. We didn't need hella views or hella cash. This was psychologically done, and everything we did was strategic. And part 2 comes down to the ideation. Not only the ideation, but how to position your content in the market to not sound like a guru. And like I said prior, we weren't just guessing on our video ideas. Everything was engineered to actually convert into cash. And when I say engineered, I literally mean the sequence of videos that we posted were all strategic. I'm literally gonna show you here soon. But we knew exactly what people would watch and why people would actually buy our product. But the difference between most creators like you probably watching this video right now is you're just posting random content and hoping something sticks to the wall. Or you might just be copying every trend or every outlier out there thinking that's gonna help. Or another problem I see people having is just posting content that they want to post, but not content that their audience wants to watch. So you might even be getting tons of views, but if it's not positioned properly, your audience is not going to buy. And if you don't want that to be you, here's the exact process we implemented with Brez and how you can actually copy it for your channel as well. So what we did is we reverse engineered video topics based on the pains, desires, fears, and motivators of our ideal customer profile that Brez had. And here's the exact proof to show you that I'm not lying. Our first video that we posted was a client case study interview, and we posted this. Why? because we wanted to show that people in the same shoes that want to do the same thing as Brez or his clients could actually see what was possible. So the first video was just showing that this business model is actually real, it's possible, right? And it was an in-person interview. Our next video, how to actually get clients as a freelance brand scaler. A huge pain that people have in this niche is getting clients. So we made a video on that. The next video was a common fear, like people don't know how to run ads in this space. What do? We create a guide on how to run Facebook ads as a beginner. The one after that, people low-key sleep on using frequently asked questions or audience feedback as insights, but if done the right way, this is really a psychological play to where you can tap into what questions people have and reverse engineer that into a video, which was what we did exactly. And we made this video right here, which is really a perfect sales asset that you can throw into your system. And every single video that we created had a purpose, but that just wasn't like the end all be all, because obviously you can reverse engineer around the pains, desires, fears, and motivators and come up with ideas. But if you don't know how to YouTubeify those ideas, they won't be able to, one, actually get views from the right person you want to attract, and or you might just not get views in general if it's not positioned properly on YouTube. So we had to create packaging where the thumbnail got attention and the title got the click. And then we had to create scripts where the hook was actually good enough and the video was so good, it didn't even feel like the audience was getting sold to. And at the day, yes, YouTube is an entertainment platform, but you are creating videos that you must view as sales assets. And no, I only haven't just done this for Brez. We have clients like PB Trading who just did a 600K cash collected month with a majority of their traffic coming from YouTube organic, or my boy Alex Choi who just did 300K cash collected in 30 days with YouTube driving all their traffic. And even if you don't have tons of views or tons of subscribers, we have clients like my guy Sebastian who literally did 60K in 5 weeks on a brand new offer, so very new to the space, and it's now is doing way bigger than numbers than that. And I'm not saying you're gonna see results just like those people, but I am saying growing a channel on YouTube and actually being able to scale a high ticket offer is extremely possible. So if you want to do the same and work with Content Cash Media to have us handle your entire process, the ideas, the scripts, the titles, the thumbnails, the video editing, the posting, SEO optimization, the same process that we did for Brez, just click the first link down below to book a call to talk with me one-on-one. And with that being said, let's get back to the video. Step 3 is what I've been talking about from the start. This is a missing key with everything I've already said. You want to create what I like to call the ecosystem. And in your head, you're probably wondering, how does one even go ahead and collect over $1 million from YouTube itself? And I have to be real with you, posting on YouTube is just not enough for this. We had to create what I like to call the YouTube ecosystem. And we had to leverage the proper content types inside of a funnel on our channel. But what do I actually mean by this, right? A huge problem I see is like typically after people post, they will just kind of let their videos die out, or there's no repurposing of content, there's no funnel strategy in mind, and you honestly just have no leverage. But the reason why Brez's channel works so well, because it was really built into his entire sales funnel and system. And that's why I keep saying you don't need tons of views or subscribers to do the same, because we've really had clients with less than 1K subscribers come in, and if you can plug YouTube into your sales system, it will work. Like our client John, who started with 600 subscribers, who has now already cash collected over 6 figures direct from YouTube and is now at 4,000 subscribers. So what we did to create this YouTube ecosystem came down to these things. First things first, you want to have top of funnel content. So in Brez's case, we created videos like this my story or this free course. These are the most popular videos on this channel. And with these, we're just trying to get a more broad audience, have a more total addressable market, and just get more awareness on what he's doing while still keeping that business approach. Then we had middle funnel content. These were the videos I mentioned earlier that are targeting the pains and desires of what people have. These are typically how-to videos, explainer videos, running through the actual process that Brez uses to actually reach success. And then the bottom of the funnel videos on this channel were like the client case study interview that I mentioned earlier, or we even had raw type content that we directed Brez on to really guide the audience to get those raw insights into deeper niche topics that they might have concerns about. And basically what Brez did is he reused all that YouTube content in his pre-call sequence. He used it on his Twitter, his Instagram, and it was sent to leads before closers even hopped on calls with these potential clients. And like I said, the result was we created a YouTube printing machine. 80% of the people that were buying stuff were watching the second channel. So once again, we didn't just get Brez to that $1 million mark just because he had a big audience, because if he was doing YouTube strategy by himself or just randomly throwing stuff at the wall, he wouldn't have made as much money as he did by following our process, because it's very psychologically done. So don't forget to diagnose your content problem and your ICP and tap into whatever competitive edge you have so you can figure out your messaging. Then second, ideate YouTube content that's aimed to sell. So tap into the pains and desires, but then you want to YouTubeify that. Make sure you have the proper titles, thumbnails, script execution, all that type of stuff. And then third, leverage all that YouTube content within a YouTube sales funnel system. Have it as pre-call material, other platforms, even your email list, wherever you can, leverage it within your entire sales funnel. And now that you know how we scaled Brez's YouTube channel to $1 million, next I want to show you the fastest way to grow on YouTube and how you can implement this process exactly for yourself. So if you want to create your own YouTube ecosystem, understand how to make your titles, thumbnails, script, click this video next to understand how you can actually implement this system for your business. Or if you're too busy to do that and don't have enough expertise, just click the first link down below to work with CCM. Other than that, appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.